We just talked about some great news for a couple of films at the box office. Well, now it's time to talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu. The Mandalorian and Grogu just came in third place at the weekend box office, which is not terrible. That's not awful, especially in its, not in its opening weekend. But the movie dropped nearly 70% from weekend one to weekend two. The movie Obsession, which was, behind it, has now become a usurper and taken its spot. So Backrooms is number one, but Obsession took the number two spot from it. And remember, Mandalorian and Grogu opened to $81.6 million. Obsession opened to $17 million. Obsession is now past it. Mm-hmm. I mean, in overall box office, right. Mandalorian and Grogu is still comfortably ahead of it, but I mean, it's now ahead of it. Dropped 70%. I was just talking a little bit earlier how, for context, when you're talking about a second weekend at the box office, you're generally looking at a 50 to 60% drop in weekend two. If you fall between 50 and 60%, that's kind of par for the course. You drop less than 50, thrown a party. You drop more than 60, it's worrisome. You drop more than 65, somebody might be losing their job. This may not be the way. That's great. You drop 70%. That tells you nobody wanted to come back to watch your movie again, except this idiot who saw it 5 times. And nobody told other people to go see it. And Rob, to me, this is the manifestation of what we have been saying all year was our big concern about this, which was, how are you making your first return to the movie theaters for Star Wars in 7 years with just a glorified expansion episode of the television series, a series which had its worst outing in its last series? I think regardless of how much you like or don't like the third season, I think everybody agrees the third season was the weakest. Even if you really like it, you probably agree that the third season was the weakest. And so, sure, it's a Star Wars title. So that first weekend, a lot of people curious to check it out. Third weekend, Backrooms and Obsession beats it. And that's a problem. That's a real problem. That tells you people did not go back to see it a second time. They didn't bring other friends to come see it like they are for Obsession. And they probably recommended to people not to go see it. And the word of mouth has been pretty cool. It's been like icy cool on the whole thing. Now, I myself, I don't hate this movie. I don't particularly like it, but there are certainly things about it, Rob, that I like. There are certainly moments and sections of the film that I think are actually quite enjoyable. The problem is there's also a bunch that aren't. And I thought I would take a minute after seeing it for the 5th time last night, that I wanted to throw out there, not things that are wrong with the movie, but specifically, Rob, logic problems with the movie.
Okay, I'm ready.
The top 5 logic problems. So I'm going to give 2 honorable mentions, or should I say dishonorable mentions, of what I find with logic problems in this. Okay. By the way, guys, I should give you a warning. I'm going to go into some spoilery detail in the movie. According to the box office, none of you are going to see it anyway. But I do want to give you guys just a little bit of a warning that I'm going to have some spoilers in here for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay. So, Rob, I want your reaction to each of these. First, my dishonorable mentions. All right. Right at the beginning of the movie, Mando is going to take out this Imperial warlord on that snow planet, right?
Sure.
And as a last-ditch resort, the Imperial warlord gets into a ship to fly away. But by that point, Mando is already in the walker, could shoot him down. Why did the guy not just immediately get in a ship and fly away? Why, knowing that the Mandalorian was there to kill him, why didn't he just start with, hey, you know what? I think I'll get in one of my many available spaceships and fly away. No. You know what's a better plan? I'm going to get in this huge oversized walker and precariously make my way down this thin ridge on the side of a mountaintop where we are fish in a barrel. That one to me is just, again, and that's not even one of the worst. This is just one of the honorable mentions.
Because
that made no sense to me whatsoever.
That's easy. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't have gotten that awesome shot of the AT-AT fall. So like he had to get in the AT-AT, John, because they wouldn't have had that awesome shot of the AT-AT falling off the cliff. See, the shots dictate the logic.
You're talking about wanting the shit. That's the thing. But you have to make logic that, like, they taught us when I was taking that the film, the Dove S.S. Sims course that Quentin Tarantino recommended. When I took that film course, one of the big things he said is you always have to be able to answer the why, right? Even if you don't put the why on screen explicitly, if something happens, you have to give at least the implied reason of why that's happening. And as I'm watching, for the very first time I watch this movie, I'm like, oh, he's got why didn't he just get in that in the first place? Anyway, so that's one logic thing to me. The second honorable mention to me that made no logical sense is this. The Hutts now have Mando. They've captured him. You know, the other bounty hunters captured him, and they take his helmet. And one of the twins goes out of his way to say, Mandalorian steel, priceless. Yeah, okay. Wow, you're a crime lord, and this is priceless. What's the first thing he does? Tosses the helmet back into the pit. I'm like, oh, you know why? Here's the logic. Because we only have Pedro Pascal for one day on set. We got Pedro Pascal for like one day, so better give him his helmet back quick. But it made no sense. Here's your helmet back. That made no sense. But again, that's just an honorable mention. That's just an honorable mention. Let me get into the 5 really big logic problems that just left me in the theater every time I saw this movie going, what? Why did that happen? Okay. This is number 5. Gattori, the creature in the swamp who likes catching fish, right? Why did the bounty hunter show up, Rob? Why did he show up and not just say, I'm looking for a Mandalorian. Have you seen him? No. You know what the bounty hunter does? He gives him the full play-by-play of everything that happens. So Gattori's saying, oh, wow, the bounty hunter says you have a partner and your partner's badly hurt, that you guys were captured and you escaped from the twins, and your guy was bitten by a dragon snake. Oh, and he's been poisoned. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to make up this poison antidote. I don't even know what the fuck species your partner is. For all I know, everything I'm putting in this antidote can totally kill you. But whatever, I'm going to do that. It's just that the bounty hunter shows up and gives him all the play-by-play of everything that's happened, and it was all for exposition, and that just made no sense to me whatsoever. So Gattori getting the full rundown from the bounty hunter. Oh, by the way, and in that scene, the bounty hunter has this dog that's meant to help him hunt. What happens when he gets to Gattori's? The dog smells something and he pins his ears back and he starts walking towards Sonny. So you think that the bounty hunter would go, my scent tracking dog seems to have picked up the scent of somebody we're hunting. Nah, it's probably nothing. Let's just go. It's like, but wait a minute. But the guy said, hey, get away from my fish. The dog was nowhere near his fish. He was already well past the fish, smelling behind some boxes where somebody could easily be hiding. But the bounty hunter's like, nah, you've got to have a why. You have to have a why. The bounty hunter decides to abandon the hut and decides that there's no reason for them to search it. You've got to give a reason why, not just a fish guy going, hey, get away from my fish. Like, okay. Like, so that was stupid to me. All right. So there's that. At number 4, the mini ATST, going back to that initial sequence in the movie. When Mandalorian says, hop on, little Grogu jumps on, and they start to, for no reason, maniacally risk their lives running down the side of this mountain.
It's in the trailer. That shot is in the trailer.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Does Mandalorian not have a jetpack? Does he not have a jetpack that A, would have got him down there a lot faster, B, would have allowed him to come up from behind the AT-AT walkers, and 3, would have been significantly safer? Like, I'm just sitting there because my buddy Ryan is the one who pointed this out to me. And I'm like, what? Yeah, Why that you literally got this jetpack that you use as casually as walking every time else in the movie? It's like, oh, we're at the top of this death-defying mountain. Yeah, we better run down it in this crockety AT-ST Mini. That's the wisest.
Yeah, just from the trailer, I thought the same thing. You don't even have to see the movie. From the trailer, I'm like, that shot makes no sense.
No, unless in the movie his jet, he took a hit and his jetpack malfunctioned.
Sure,
but they needed it so he could fly away at the end. You have to give a why. It's basic filmmaking. Give a why. So that part made no sense to me. Now each one of these gets worse and worse and worse. My number 3 at this, and this one was one I didn't notice until my 5th screening.
Good thing you went 5 times.
It's a good thing I went 5 times. At the end of the film, as all the New Republic ships get back to the New Republic base and land, and you see Mando get out of Zeb's U-Wing, and he starts to walk, and you know what's behind him as he's walking across the courtyard? The Razor Crest.
Nice.
I have a question. How the fuck did the Razor Crest get there? Because the last time we saw the Razor Crest, it was at his house on a different planet when he got taken by the bounty hunter. The Babu Freaks didn't take it. Baby Yoda didn't take it. That's where his ship was. 15 hours pass and he gets back on the U-Wing and the Razor Crest is just there.
Maybe he has a concierge service.
No explanation, nothing. It's just there. It's like, well, how else can Mando say, can I give where he doesn't have a ship? But it's like, wait a minute. The last time we saw that ship, it was at his house still getting modified. And the Babu Freaks had their own ship. They didn't get it. It's just like, oh my God. Like, that's such a huge...
The Aliens, man.
The Babu Freaks,
no,
baby.
The Babu Freaks.
It's the name of my band, the Babu Freaks.
The Minions. Yeah. The Minions of the Star Wars Empire. Again, it's a little thing, but it's such a basic flaw in filmmaking. It's like, you got to answer the why. Such a basic flaw in the filmmaking. So anywhere there was that. Okay. The next one for me at number 2. Can somebody explain to me why a baby stroller, number 1, has a hyperdrive in it, and number 2, why it has fucking cockpit controls for a baby? This is not the thing that Mando found Grogu in that could have been specialized where. There's literally a Rhodian mom just walking along, pushing her baby in the stroller. Grogu gets in it, hits one button, and he's traveling at 10,000 miles per hour.
I'm pretty sure the Kardashians have that for their babies.
Maybe Rhodians are early bloomers.
Maybe. But where is the safety commission? Where is the standard saying, like, you know what? This may not be safe for babies. We should make it go 1,000 miles per hour, and it should have its own actual controls in it. No problem. Like, I'm just watching this. I'm like, what the? How? What is happening here? Why can everything go that fast? So anyway, that again was just utterly ridiculous.
That fast.
So there's that. All right.
This is killing me.
There's somebody in the live chat saying MSRP saying you guys are nitpicking. If you think this is nitpicking, then you need to get your head out of the sand. These are clear logic flaws. These are the simplest things to avoid when you're making a movie. Now, I'm not talking about flaws with the movie. I'm talking about logic problems. When you present something on screen that just fundamentally does not make sense, that doesn't work. You have to give, as the film instructors say, the why. And if you think these are nitpicks, I don't know what to tell you. These are big, obvious, brutal logic flaws. So anyway, but this is the biggest one to me. The biggest logic flaw of the whole movie to me, which is this. At the end of the movie, Colonel Sigourney Weaver confirms to the Mandalorian, confirms to Mando that you're right. Janu sang like a bird. He told us that they were actually in league with the Hutts. The Hutts were playing both sides. They picked the Imperial side. They were working for them. Jonu and the Hutts, they were working together. They were being fed information, blah, blah, blah. You were right. They picked a side and it wasn't our side, she says. Okay. This brings up a question. If the Hutts and Jonu Coin are in communication and they're double-crossing the New Republic, and they're being given all the information by Jonu, they know what the Hutts are doing, the Hutts know what he's doing, all that kind of stuff. If Jonu Coin was getting ready to kill Rada the Hutt anyway, why did they send the Mandalorian? Why did the Hutts get and hire, why did they get the Mandalorian to go there to rescue Rada, who they want dead, when Jonu Coin, who they are in league with as confirmed at the end of the movie, when he was about to kill him anyway? What was the point of that? It completely undermines the basic plot of the movie, a movie that changed plot admittedly 4 or 5 times throughout, but it just made no sense. Go and, we get the Mandalorian to go and get our kid so we can kill him. Where is he? Well, he's in the hands of our co-worker there, of our commandant over here, who's about to kill him anyway. So why are you sending the Mandalorian there? And by the way, they're trying to hide from the Mandalorian that Lord Commander Coin, whatever his name is there on the planet, and yet they send him right to the guy who knows that Jonu is Jonu Coin. Like, and then Mandalorian gets back, and the Hutts say, "Oh, you betrayed our deal. Now you must suffer." Wait a minute. I've seen this movie 5 times. The deal was go and rescue Rada. It was never the deal to bring him back to the Hutts. It was simply go and rescue Rada. That was the deal. Mandalorian should have said to him, "Hold up. I didn't break our deal. I honored the deal. I went and rescued Rada." That's a side point. Rob, to me though, the big thing, the entire foundation of the entire plot falls apart when Sigourney Weaver reveals at the end, "Oh yeah, Jonu confirmed that they're in league with the Hutts and they've been feeding each other information. They're in league together. And the Hutts chose to actually side with the Empire." Well, then why send the Mandalorian? They were about to kill Rada anyway. There goes the entire plot of the movie. Anyway, those are just logic problems. I'm not even going to talk about the dialogue or the pacing or why did we have to see Mando fight the same fishmen twice in 2 different actions. I'm not talking about problems with the movie. I'm talking about the logic fallacies in it.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Pocket Hose. Guys, I'm excited to tell you about the world's #1 expanding garden hose and their brand new product, the Pocket Hose Ballistic. As you guys can imagine, I'm not exactly gentle with my gear. I drag hoses across concrete over the pool, yank them around corners. I even coil and uncoil them all the time to put them in my camper van when I go out on my movie meetups. And generally speaking, a lot of them don't last. But the Pocket Hose Ballistic has been a totally different story for me. It's incredibly durable, super lightweight, and just makes the whole job easier. One of my favorite things is how simple it is to use. You turn the water on, it expands. Turn it off, it shrinks right back down to pocket size. And it's reinforced with a liquid crystal polymer, the same kind of material used in bulletproof vests. Plus, it comes with the pocket pivot, which gives you 360-degree rotation at the spigot so it moves with you instead of fighting against you. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a new Pocket Hose Ballistic, you'll get a free 360-degree rotating pocket pivot and a free thumb drive nozzle. Just text Campea to 64,000. That's CAMPEA to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. Text Campea to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply.
Anyway, what do you think about any of the ones I just mentioned? Do you have any more to add to it?
Well, one of the things that I don't know if this is, first of all, I agree with everything you just said, but I have another one. So the Hutts wanted Rada liberated so they could kill him, so he wouldn't inherit Jabba's fortune,
which he didn't want anyway.
Which he didn't want anyway. Exactly. Why is it that these twins? I was like, don't they have their own criminal enterprise? When we met them, when they're in, they're on, they're in
Mos,
but when we saw them originally, didn't we see them in? We saw the twins first where'd we see them? In Mandalorian, right? Earlier.
I don't remember now, to be honest.
Okay, they're already crime bosses. Like they've got this incredible empire. They've got this place they live in. They have literally how many people are on their payroll?
Was a book
that you see working in their slug encampment? There's like hundreds of people there that are on their payroll. Aren't they already rich? And if Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire like collapsed, is suddenly do the children of criminals just inherit money through what, the banking system? I mean, I had a problem with like, why do you care where Jabba's money is going to go? I mean, it is his son. He's part of the family, and aren't you guys all part of the same criminal empire? Like I had a problem with it. I wouldn't call it a plot hole, but I don't understand. Like when you have in The Godfather, there is Vito Corleone, but you've got Sonny, you've got Fredo, you've got Michael, you've got Connie. There's an entire group of people, and then there's other families like they underneath the Corleone family, and within that, money is shared. I just didn't understand what was going on at all. But I think that you point out something the most egregious, which was your number one thing is, why did they send the Mandalorian to get him in the first place? First of all, why did the rebellion ever think that a criminal enterprise was going to be on the up and up with them?
Oh, yeah. As soon as Sigourney Weaver said in the movie, we've been working a long time to establish a relationship with the Hutts. I'm like, no, the New Republic would not do that.
The same Hutt family that tried to have Luke Skywalker killed?
Yeah. And Leia had to choke out?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's a criminal empire. You walk into that knowing that you're dealing with people that are going to most likely double cross you. And you've got...
By the way, can I just throw just a couple more little things?
Yeah.
Yeah. One in particular. How does this make sense? Well, there's two things. At the end, once they kill the twins, who are the droids now trying to work for? Who are the droids trying to protect? I mean, if their whole fear was that Rada the Hutt is the true heir of Jabba the Hutt, isn't he in charge now? So that's a side thing, whatever. I'll put that aside. But the big one to me is near the middle of the movie when Zeb and Mando go in and get Janu Coin and they're escaping, all the stormtroopers who work for Coin are chasing them and shooting. They could kill their boss. But more than that, once they get on the Razor Crest and they're starting to fly away, the guards come chasing after them in their own ships, and they're trying to blow the Razor Crest up that their boss is in. I'm like, wait, how does this make any sense? Like most movies at least have the common sense where they do the stereotypical thing as like, put your guns down, stupid. You might hit me. But at least that makes sense. Like it made no sense to me. Why are these stormtroopers trying to blow up the ship that legitimately has him in the ship? I didn't get, but whatever. I didn't put that one on my list, but that's just a side one. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Now, listen, by the way, I know I just spent this time talking about the logic problems of the movie. I still stand by the fact that I don't hate the movie. There were a number of things in it that I quite enjoyed. I don't particularly like the movie because of all the problems, but I also think there's some redeeming things in the movie. I really do. But when you're talking about a movie that took a 70% drop at the box office, you want to look at why? I think one of the big reasons is that there was absolutely zero sense of logic to this film. But at any rate, whatever you guys think about that, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the Jon Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.